Kim Mukti Najara, the Tantric lawyer, coming to you from Seminyak in Bali by the coast. So I came here yesterday and I've been feeling this whole week that there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in communities, there's a lot of change, there's a lot going on in the world generally. And it feels like soul contracts are really in play here. And it's a really, really powerful time with the full moon to be making choices, making powerful decisions about how we want our life to be in 2024 as we're coming to the end of this year. So I've certainly had a very, I'd say I've had some really intense experiences this week in Bali, and what all of those experiences have done have helped course correct. So they have just shown me areas in my life where I have felt, I guess, that perhaps I could be more in alignment, and things have changed so fast for me in the last 5 weeks or 6 weeks since I left Australia and came to Bali to finish my book, Confessions of a Tantric Lawyer, a unique guide to magnetize your magical life, which is launching on Amazon on the 17th of December. So my job, I have jobs every day. Like, it feels like this is a really, really steep learning curve for me. I have been an entrepreneur before. I've always earned the majority of my money through law, and I've always spent the majority of my money on travel and upskilling myself and really heavily investing in my own skills as a complementary therapist. I'm an energy healer. I've taught energy healing. I pioneered a new therapy called Tantric Healing in 2004, and I've had a dual career, so 35 years as a lawyer in pretty much all jurisdictions in Australia and the UK, and 25 years in complementary therapies. So those are my strengths. I'm learning to get more tech savvy. So this has been an interesting journey for me. I onboarded a team a month ago, and I feel that now there's areas where we're not in alignment. So it's been a growth process for me in learning to delegate, in learning to be really, really clear about boundaries, and to actually call it when those people are no longer in alignment. So I had the experience when I first was guided to work online and stop doing the tantric work with clients one-on-one, which was actually the year prior to COVID. So I started to engage coaches, I started to engage clients, working with them online to take them through different processes for growth and empowerment. And I've had a lot of joy. I've had so much joy seeing those clients move from being quite stuck and having a lot of problems in their lives to things flourishing. You know, their finances flourish, their relationships flourish, they set up new businesses, they marry, they set up new activities, like all kinds of things have happened. It's kind of crazy and beautiful at the same time. So this is my big joy, and my big passion is to help clients from all over the world just basically get more empowered and magnetic. So this is about how to get really, really in alignment. This is what the astrology is saying. I'm not an astrologer, but I did go to a beautiful talk of an evolutionary astrologer on Friday night, and it was called What the Bleep is Going On. So basically what he was saying, and this is Kai Pacha, and his astrology podcast is called the Pele Report, Pele, if you're interested in knowing more about him. So basically what he was saying is there's a majority of the population on the planet that are basically following the existing models of doing life. So they're really concerned with paying the bills, with raising their children, with doing their job, with just basically survival. They don't have the capacity to actually engage in challenging any of the systems or creating new systems to replace the old outdated ones. So what's happened is that we've got basically so much crazy going on in the world, and there's a lot of dysfunctional systems in place. And I say that with with love and respect, because as a lawyer, I've been part of those systems for 35 years. So deeply connected to law is the financial systems, the worlds of international banking, international finance, the World Health Organization, all of these big global players that are basically dictating to countries and governments what they can and can't do, how they should run their economies. There's wars going off everywhere. There always has been, but it's somehow, it all feels like it's getting intense with changes in climate and just lots, the tech explosion. I did work for a department in the government in Australia that is very into tech development. And I watched that and I saw that, and I went to like AI global conferences and medico-tech conferences and things like that. And I thought, yeah, this is okay. It's just, in its place. Like, I don't want tech in my body. I never want to merge with AI. I think AI has a place, and that is definitely under the control of humans that have a vision for a better system, for more harmony, for more sustainability. So, enough about that. Soul contracts, this is the topic. So we all have these soul contracts. So as I was saying, Kai Patch's view, and I agree, is that the majority of the planet are concerned with survival. There's a small minority that are going, actually, things don't feel right. They don't seem right. I think there must be better ways. Let's rebel against this. And there's a smaller minority that are actually offering beautiful alternatives to those mainstream structures. So I have found those beautiful people in a number of communities. So inspirational book writers, you can check them out online. There's hundreds of authors that have been published and launched through their grassroots program, and that is a really strong, really healthy community. I'm part of permaculture, permanent agriculture communities in Australia and New Zealand, and there's temple communities, there's sacred sexuality communities. So what I'm saying, what my message is whatever is vibing for you, now is the time to do it, because you could be one of those change makers. And if you're watching this, I suggest that perhaps you are. So it's time for all of us to look at our lives and going, hey, what is 100% in alignment and what is meh, not so much, right? What doesn't feel right? Who are the people that you're really attracted to, and who are the people that you just go, well, actually, I feel like you never really got me. You never really saw me. I've got all these gifts. It's time to start sharing and using them. So there's so much I can say about soul contracts. We magnetize people in our work, in our love life, in our social life that we are meant to meet, and also who give us our greatest challenges, who can be a mirror for us. And I see this all the time. It's most polarized in the legal profession, in the adversarial system, in governments, different political parties and how they go off against each other. The same in litigation, in separations, when friends fall out, when company directors fall out. Like, there's so many examples. And I've been supporting people this last week who have had these issues in their lives, that have had their clients, former clients, turn on them and threaten to, sue them and report them and all the things. So the energy feels like it's getting really, really intense. It's really important to have recognition of what a soul contract is, and to actually see how we can possibly see it as reflecting some parts of ourselves that we find really, really difficult to acknowledge. So I have this all the time in Bali. I had this when I encountered the cockfighting at my villa. yesterday, and I was deeply, deeply shocked to find out that the peaceful, beautiful people of Bali, who are so friendly, are actually really super into this. Like, it just boggles my mind. And so how is that kind of like, I don't know, it's a very base instinct of aggression. And it's like, okay, so I've been traveling in Bali, I've been on my own most of the time, or I haven't been with so many loved ones, a couple of dear friends, and how is my kind of how is my how is my animal instinct, how does it, perhaps long to rip things to shreds that I find challenging in the world. So this has been my personal challenge. It's all of our personal challenges to actually acknowledge those parts of ourselves and to look at, hey, what is this situation showing me? How can this possibly be in my best interests? Like, how is it course correcting me? I found that with having to let go of a couple of gorgeous, gorgeous, talented people who I onboarded as part of my team. I had to communicate clearly. I had to acknowledge my part in how those relationships have fallen down. Like, how have I not been so forthcoming about perhaps my needs, my values, my core values, and just to be really kind with myself as well, and acknowledge that those have changed even in the last 5 weeks. Like how I want to run a business, what I want that business to stand for. It's like, it's time to be really open to call those people in that we can help the most in our lives. And my core message is like, how can I serve? That is what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve humanity. I'm here to be that bridge between all of those polarities, like the wars between the gender wars, the race wars, the national wars, like you name it, there's so many out there. And it's intense, guys, girls, ladies, it is really intense. So my invitation is just to be really kind to yourself, compassion, honesty, self-honesty mostly, and take time just to ground, to be by yourself, to breathe, to be in nature, to just feel the gratitude for what this life is offering us. So yeah, it is challenging, this 3D reality, like I didn't drive, I was a passenger yesterday going from Ubud to Seminyak at peak hour. Took about an hour and a half in very busy traffic. And I was quite frazzled. So I had done a ceremony before I got into the car. And then when I got out, I was I felt so blessed to just arrive in a new place and be treated to a beautiful evening at the most luxurious hotel in the area, poolside, and in the restaurant. So I'm deeply, deeply grateful. So it's about finding something in your day that you're deeply, deeply grateful in each moment, and blessing it, and blessing even the hard things that you have to do. And yeah, soul contracts, there's so much more I can say. I'm really here to help if you have difficulty in your life with ending any contracts or making any contracts, soul agreements. It's really important to be clear and upfront, whether it's a new love partner, a new business opportunity. We all come in with rose-colored glasses, and often they end in tears because we don't consider fully what we're getting ourselves into. So this is also part of the beautiful human journey. Is at one level, it's just like we're children, we're children exploring, and moment by moment we can have our needs change. So yes, there's so much more I can say, but I'll leave it for now. I'll keep this to the key key message is this is a beautiful way that I love to give. I've got some beautiful precedent agreements. I basically, hey Elle, hey Than, how you going? Nice to see you watching. I'm here to help you to understand your contracts better, whether they're soul contracts or legal contracts, to understand how a lot of legal contracts are full of blah. You know, they're full of stuff that is meaningless, doesn't mean much, is irrelevant, is deliberately confusing. It's deliberately giving one party more power than the other, because that's reflecting our governments and our legal system. It's, you know, a system where you've got a few in the world in charge of the resources and telling the governments what they can and can't do. So this is the model we've got, a dominator model. And yeah, rather than fight against it, what I suggest is that we all get empowered. So that's my message. How can I serve? Please join my free group, VIP, Confessions of a Tantric Lawyer. There's a link below, and please do watch out for my book when it's available on Amazon. I've got a free gift offer, and I've got a beautiful offer where you can have a taster session with me, a soul spirit alignment, and I will send you my book for free, with gift wrapping, with a beautiful New Year's blessing that's individually crafted. So I'm going to love you and leave you, my friends. I hope it's been fantastic to share a little bit of time with you. Thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a beautiful day, morning, evening, wherever you are.